The last 28 days, you've typically done 30k in a month.
Yeah, my highest month yet in revenue.
This 17-year-old hit $30,000 in 1 month posting Faceless YouTube shorts. But it wasn't always like this. You see, when Otto joined my mentorship at Earnit Media last year, he was making about 2k a month from shortsing consistently. So today we're going to break down his exact outsourcing process, the niche strategy that he uses that allowed him to hit 2k a day on a single channel, and how he manages everything while still being at school. My name is Igor, and let's get into it.
Yo, welcome Otto. Introduce yourself. Who are you? How old are you? What do you do?
So, my name is Otto. I'm 17 years old right now, and I do YouTube shorts right now kind of as a side hustle, but recently I've been taking it a lot more serious.
So this is your main channel here, right? And it's done 20k in the last 28 days.
Yes, I would say this is the main one, which I have been working the most on.
And would you be able to go into the settings here and just show everyone that this is USD? Because on the last interview that I did with Infinity, people were like, nah, bro, this guy's faking. But just to prove to you guys, you can select a different currency like euros or something, then go to USD, show people that it's real. Euros.
So here's euros.
There you go. Yeah, 17k.
Yeah.
So you can see it's not fake. How many channels are you running?
I would say 2, but I am building right now 2 more. One with my classmate actually, who's also like into shorts, and building another one myself. But I have 2 right now that are doing like 10k or more in a month.
Would you be able to show the second one too?
Yeah, so here's the second one.
Fire. Well, last 28 days, you've typically done 30k in a month.
Yeah, my highest month yet in revenue.
And how old are you again?
17.
That's insane, bro. You're still in school as well?
Yeah, in high school.
Wild.
1 year left in high school.
So right now you're doing about 30k a month with these shorts channels, and how much of that is profit, would you say?
So the first channel I showed is 90% profit, because the format is super simple, and yeah, I just pay a guy from Pakistan like 400 euros or dollars, I think.
Yeah.
In crypto a month and some bonuses. So for that channel, the profit margin is a lot bigger. For this one, however, I have actually a partner, a business partner, which actually I found in Earnit Media, shout out. And we are 50-50 on this channel, plus some editing costs.
Okay, cool. We'll get onto the partnership in a bit, actually, because I kind of want to break that down as well. Could you give us a bit of an insight? You know, you don't have to leak your channels in it or anything like that, but you mentioned the simple format. What types of niches are you doing across these 2 channels?
So the first one I actually can leak because it's my own channel, so it's kind of a wholesome, very broad niche in the English language, so the reach on that page is way broader than this one. This one, however, I won't leak because I haven't really talked with my business partner, so I'm not sure he would want me to leak it, but it's also in English, and it's kinda niche, like I would say like medium niche. The reach is pretty good. The highest viewed video is like 7 million views, so I wouldn't say it's broad, but it's not also very niched.
Okay, cool. And would you be able to go back onto your main channel, actually, because I just want to have a bit of a run through those peak days there. Yeah, so you was doing like what, 2k days there? Yeah, 2k days. What did you do differently at that point to cause that massive breakthrough?
I don't think I actually changed anything besides the format, and the format just literally took me to those 2k days. I wasn't like crazy brainstorming or didn't find any crazy clips. It was just from the niche and the format itself. It was pretty organic for me.
So would you say there was like an element of luck involved, or did you feel like the videos you were making were like, oh, these ones are gonna blow up?
I thought they were gonna do well, but yeah, I would say it was luck also involved.
So you didn't really change much. You said like idea-wise, you didn't really change much format-wise, didn't change much. But you're in a niche where the proof of concept is there. You know it's working. You see there are competitors that are performing well. So what, you just kept doubling down, basically hoping for this type of breakthrough?
Yeah, I found like 4 or 5 channels doing the same format, and I looked at their most popular videos and kind of tried to replicate their style and their clip selection, and it just worked out.
Is this the first time you've had a breakthrough like this on this channel?
This big, yeah, this is my biggest one, but if we look at lifetime, or actually the last year, here there was a bit of a breakthrough, so some 1K days. Also, it was last summer, so there's kind of a trend going on. When there's no school, I make a lot of money.
Yeah.
But yeah, second time, I guess.
What happened in between here, bro? Like, just a complete flatline. What happened?
Yeah, so looking back at it, I definitely should have kept posting in this format. I did. It was kind of the commentary style more. What happened is one of the videos got like a copyright strike or some kind of a strike. And then for like 4 or 5 videos I posted, they all got like 30k views, and I just decided to stop.
Okay. So it was kind of a momentum motivation thing. You saw views kind of go down, get so-called jailed, you just didn't carry on.
Yep.
Got you. And with this as well, like you briefly mentioned before, I think something about outliers. Would you be able to kind of break down the process of how you identify outliers and double down on things that you see are working?
I analyze outliers. I actually took this strategy from my business partner. He used it on the second channel, and it was basically making a spreadsheet and saying to Claude, like, take these outliers, take the biggest outliers in like 28 days with like vidIQ, I think the extension is. But then I added more parts to the strategy. I said like add lengths in a column, add like the titles / like the kind of idea behind the video. So if some videos are for like parents, some are animals, some are like military reunions, and then I just look at that and try to piece some kind of correlation between the outliers and the length, the topic, etc.
Do you only do that for your own outliers, or do you also do it for the competitors?
I actually haven't done that for my channel. I only do it for my competitors.
Interesting. How do you find your competitors? I feel like that's something people struggle often with.
One of the places looking at your audience tab, and you'll get like at least like 3 high quality competitors. Other than that, I think I just curate my page into like showing the same niche and just find them that way.
Would you be able to show the audience thing that you're talking about on your YouTube studio here?
Yeah, so it's right here, last 28 days.
Channels your audience watches, yeah. So that's a very easy way to find good competition, because it's usually channels, again, like your audience watches, so it's fairly similar niches. And you could take the outliers there, potentially use Otto's strategy to generate some good ideas, double down on outliers. Doubling down on outliers is probably like the fastest way that you can progress. And another way to progress is actually analyzing videos that flop. Is that something that you do? Like, do you try and identify, like, for example, you see videos that perform badly, do you try and identify why they did badly so you make sure you don't commit the same mistakes again?
Yeah, I think that's one of the crucial places you need to do as a shorts creator, and analyzing like why they flopped. For me, it's usually the hook was bad on this channel, or the ending wasn't as satisfying, and then I go into it with myself or with my editor, and basically we talk about it. What could we have done better, what mistakes we made, and what we'll do better in the future.
How do you know what the mistake is though? Like, what tells you that it's the hook or the ending? Because isn't it something that you think you'd identify before posting the video?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think it's just quite experienced in this, so I have an eye for the mistakes. Other than that, you can look at the statistics. For example, the AVD chart. If there's like a big dip in the graph, you can analyze that exact spot in the video, and then you should be able to come up with a conclusion.
Okay, interesting. Do you look for any particular stats, or do you not think stats are that important?
It depends again on the niche, I would say. But in a broad niche, I would say they do matter. You want to get them as good as you can, because, like, for example, if 50% of the viewers swipe away from your short, for me, I think, why would YouTube push that video? Yeah. It's only when you get to those 80% and more, YouTube will start pushing them.
When you talked about, like, you briefly touched on the fact that you talk with your editor about what you could have done different for the hook, for the ending, for example, what do those discussions consist of? Like, are you then comparing hooks to previous outliers, to competitors, coming up with creative experiments? Like, what's your process there?
Yeah, so if I see bosses are the easiest ones to like see and fix, if there was a big boss in the beginning, that's quite easy to spot and then fix for the next ones. Maybe the hook wasn't giving curiosity to the viewer, then we're gonna try to implement that into the next one, kind of bend the story into a more curiosity driven one. But yeah, it's just analyzing and then experimenting and changing those things on your next shorts.
So you said that you're still in school, right?
Yep.
Which is crazy, by the way. But can you kind of tell me your schedule? Like, you're still in school. How are you doing this every day? What's your day looking like?
So right now it's pretty chill. It's summertime, so no school. Basically, all of my schedule is free. I can create whenever I want and I have full freedom. When I'm in school, though, it does get quite difficult. School is like till 4 or 5 p.m. Then sometimes I go to the gym or do some sports. So then I get home like at 6 or 7 p.m. Then you have to make food. That's another hour. Homework. It does get quite rough, but usually I do most of my work then in Sundays and Saturdays, so the weekend. I think that's a very good tip if you're still in school and trying to build some kind of a business. Those 2 days you should take full advantage of.
Okay, so that's actually really good advice for people that are still in school. I kind of want to break down your operation on channel 1 and channel 2 individually as well. So yes, so on channel 1, this is your main. Can you kind of break down, like, from idea to upload, who handles what you're still personally involved in and why?
So in both of the channels, I'm involved in scripting it and finding the clips, and we have editors outsourced for each one of those. So this one, I do also post the videos, come up with titles and manage everything myself. The only thing for this channel outsourced is the editor. For this channel, my partner manages the editors. He also posts the videos. He sometimes comes up with clips when he's randomly like scrolling and he sees a clip in our niche. He sends me those. He also manages the TikTok page and Facebook page on this channel, and I manage mostly all of the clips, scripting. I also do tutorial videos for the editors that are like 3 to 5 minutes long on this channel to kind of give my vision to the editor, so it takes like less time for them and there's not as many things that needs to be changed. We can do it with one edit.
Interesting. And you kind of mentioned there something to do with your management structure, how your partner kind of handles the editors and whatnot. Can you break down overall how you manage your team?
So I don't have a big team. The editors and all of the ones I do have, it's a very simple. It's in Discord, so we communicate in the Discord chats, and I send them scripts and the clips in Google Docs, and I like track their pay in Google Sheets.
How do you find your hires, like your editors, for example? Where do you find them?
So that's a very good question. For the first channel in the broad niche, I actually have a Gmail linked in my bio, and a lot of editors reach out in that way, and they already give me like their portfolios, and sometimes they even do samples, and so that's a very high efficient way of finding editors. That's how I found the one who's working for me right now. And for this channel, I actually don't know how my business partner hired the editors, but the channels I ran before, they weren't so built up, and no editors reached out from email. I just found from Discord servers. There's tons of of them, and you just make a post, and a lot of editors flood your DMs, and you just have to look through each one and find the best one.
How would you say, like you say, look through the DMs and find the best one? What does that process look like for you? What are you looking for? What are you kind of, how are you filtering through all of these people?
Yes, so number one is obviously the editing. Does the editing match your style? Is it good enough? Second of all, from the sample, if you give him a sample, how quickly did they respond? How quickly did they make the edit and send it to you? If it was like longer than 24 hours, it's usually a big red flag for me. I also ask what country they are from, if their internet is good, because I've had a lot of those experiences. And yeah, I really learned from them and don't want to repeat those mistakes in the future.
Yeah, to add on to that as well, actually, one thing that you do want to do when you're in the hiring process is to make sure that your hires have consistent electricity, because a lot of people hire from the third world, and although Wi-Fi might be good, like sometimes the electricity goes out, they can't do nothing, and that will just stop the whole process of your workflow. So it's something you don't want to do. But if you was to give some outsourcing advice from your experience, say like the number one piece of outsourcing advice, what kind of comes to mind?
For me, I would say it's being very consistent with the messages and the editing, because if you work with them in, let's say, the first week, they already have made an excuse for something, or they're just being late on like 2 or more of the edits, I would say you need to cut them off immediately, and you need to find someone better who actually appreciates what you do, and yeah, I think that would be very crucial.
So firing fast, basically.
Yes.
Got you. That makes sense. And you kind of mentioned before as well that you've learned the lesson with like the Wi-Fi thing. Have you had any other bad outsourcing experience that maybe you learned some lessons from?
Yeah, so funnily enough, as you mentioned before, the electricity, I've also had that. And with in my like beginning of my shorts journey, there was a channel I ran in the Roblox niche. I hired a guy from Brazil. He used the electricity excuse so many times, like at least 3 times in a week, and that kind of lowered my discipline as well, and the channel just got ran down to getting almost demonetized. So he kind of pulled me down with the excuses as well, and the whole channel kind of got fucked up.
Yeah, being over reliant on hires, causing your momentum to go down. But I suppose that could have been counteracted by, of course, firing fast, hiring fast. But do you ever think of like having backup editors as well, in case something like this happens?
Yeah, so I have implemented that strategy this month only. Before I hadn't really thought of that. I learned that from the guys in Earnit, the big ones also. Yeah, they all have like editors in advanced, even if they're not working all of the time. They come really in handy if an editor gets sick or has some other excuse.
Yeah, 100%. A lot of the experienced guys inside of Earnit have backup editors just purely for the reason that you said as well. For anyone interested in joining Earnit, top link in the description. But with you talking earlier about like this channel here, for example, that you're running with a partner, I want to ask you about that. What do you look for in partnerships, first of all?
So right now I only have 2 partners, I guess. For this one, I looked at his channel. So his channel was in a super similar niche as my one. So immediately I thought, yo, this could work really well. His channel was way outperforming my one at that time. And I just looked at the bigger picture and I thought, with him and me, would the channel grow and make more profit, or will it be negative? And I thought, and I came to a conclusion where, yeah, this will be very beneficial for the channel. And then we partnered up on this channel. And as you can see from the months, these 2 months I was working alone, and this June we just skyrocketed.
That's amazing, actually. That's really good work. And how do you find your partner? What do you think is like the best way to find someone?
So definitely a community. He actually reached out to me. I didn't even have to do any work. He came with document, basically like talking about how he implemented some systems and editors into his channel and how it saw amazing growth and how we could do the same. So we just hopped in a call and basically talked for like an hour. And yeah, he pitched to me. I didn't even have to do any work.
So you find this guy your partner from Earnit, right?
Yes.
Yes, so bro, it's a hub for partners, man. Everyone in there is doing the same thing, trying to see each other win. That's really good to see, man. You partner with someone from inside the community and literally tripled your income. Crazy stuff. When do you think is like the right time for someone to partner? Do you think there's like a right time?
Yeah, I think you should build up your skills first. If you want to partner up with someone, you need to have something you can give, like a skill set. Otherwise, no one actually will want to partner up. That can be editing, that can be scripting, but you need to learn one of these skills, and then I think it's a good idea to partner up.
What do you think is your skill?
So I'm a really good editor, I would say, but that's like a skill that can be outsourced quite easily. And the second thing I'm quite proud of myself is finding niches. I think I have a really good eye for finding untapped niches, and like researching niches is like, I would say, one of my best skills.
Interesting. So let's touch onto that. How did you come up with your niche? What was your process for that?
So I saw channels in similar niches and I kind of changed the vision. Another, like, not really a sub niche, but a different like branch of the niche, and just saw huge opportunity there. I saw that views on other platforms were huge, into the tens of millions. I saw that the audience was first world, so that means a bigger RPM, and I just put everything together, and I thought this niche would be an amazing opportunity to go into.
Interesting. So you look for proof of concept on other social media platforms?
100%, yeah.
So you're basically looking for niches that are getting tens of millions of views, not just on YouTube, but on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, X, all of that. And if you see it across all of them doing well, that's something you then take into YouTube.
Yeah, I mainly look through TikTok and also Instagram Reels, but mainly TikTok. And as you know, content that performs well on TikTok doesn't really perform that well on YouTube.
Yeah.
But if you can find a niche that has a super high view ceiling, gets a ton of views, there's tons of content from it, you can take that niche and go into YouTube, but kind of change the content with the YouTube style. So I think that's a super good way to find new niches.
How do you identify like the YouTube style that you talked about for people that don't know? So you're taking things that are working on TikTok, on Instagram, let's say, and you're basically like YouTubeifying them, right? You know, you're putting them in the format that resonates with the viewers on this platform. How do you do that?
So then I look at channels on YouTube that are working well and kind of adapt their editing style on those niches I took from TikTok and kind of merge that editing style I found on a channel that's printing right now, that's like doing 100 or more million monthly views, and I see their style performs very well on YouTube, and I just take that TikTok niche and adapt it, YouTubeify it, as you said.
Yeah, interesting. So is this like the niche process that you follow for all of your new channels, or are there other strategies that you use as well to pick new niches?
I would say, yeah, this is the main one, but also the best channel that I showed, the first channel, I just copied a YouTube channel, I think, and I just tried to make my editing style a little different. That niche wasn't taken from TikTok, it was just a channel I found on YouTube with editing style I could kind of copy or even make better.
And what made you think that you should copy that channel and add a little like twist on it? Was there something that you saw was like, oh, I must do this now? Or what was like the criteria that kind of made you think now is the right time to do that?
Yeah, so one thing was there weren't as many competitors in that niche. Also, the views he was getting was super good on all videos, basically tens of millions of views, and the editing style was super simple. So I put all of them together and compounded into the niche I got into.
With the channels that you currently run, do you feel like you have an edge at all in any way? Something that makes you hard to compete with?
Actually, for this one, I had to learn the niche completely from scratch. I had no idea about this niche. So let's say it was like something makeup, let's say this niche basically to me. I had no knowledge on it. For me, I thought it was such a good opportunity that I just learned it from scratch. So I don't even think you need an edge on a niche before you go into it. Of course, it's good if you do, but it's not necessary.
Would you say you, like, after going into the niches, you craft some sort of edge, whether that be, for example, upload volume, ideation, finding new clips, stuff like that?
Yeah, so for this one, I would say editing could be our edge. We're also perhaps gonna scale to 2 a day, and there's like almost non-editors still in this niche. So we're just gonna take 100% of the audience with 2 uploads a day.
Okay, nice. That's definitely an edge. That's really cool to see. I want to kind of get into your like scaling and mistakes sort of section, just to give people some good advice on that as well. One thing, so you're running 2 channels right now, but how do you decide when a channel is worth continuing versus cutting? Do you have a criteria for that?
It's gonna sound super basic, but is the channel like getting you good money or not? If it is, continue it obviously. But I only had to like cut or stop posting after like copyright strikes, so I don't really have that much experience into cutting or having a fully dead channel.
What would make you cut a channel like this, for example? Like, what types of signs would you look for that would make you think, okay, like it's mission abort?
Perhaps super inconsistent views could be one. Also, if all of the clips are used. If there's like very hard to find new clips, I would try to sell the channel before, and then perhaps if all of the clips are rinsed, yeah, then there's not much you can do. Besides changing niches, of course. If the stats are good but the videos aren't getting pushed, that could be a good sign as well to kind of stop the channel or try to sell it.
Yeah, one piece of advice that you gave there is really good actually, about how if you do have a channel that relies on reusing other people's clips, if you are running low or like running dry on clips, we call it, where the supply is running out, definitely sell the channel towards its peak. You can use either Deal Baron or Flipper.com. Both of those are like selling platforms for YouTube channels, so you can at least get some money out of it before letting the channel completely die down. A lot of people do that, then it loses all sale value. You just lost a bunch of money basically, so definitely do that. And with you scaling, because you talked earlier about wanting to start a 3rd, a 4th channel, for example, what does a channel need to look like for you to be confident to run another one?
It's mainly if I think I'll have enough time for it. So I try to outscale everything as much as I can. Editing, but if there are other parts like clip finding, if I can outsource that as well, and I'm spending like an hour or less a day on the channel, then I could say, yeah, then start a new one, and that would take like 2 hours a day. Kind of like managing my time, predicting how much time it will take. And if I see there's a gap, I have a lot of free time, I try to make another channel.
Do you ever try and like outsource most of the things that you do on the channel before moving on to another one?
So right now I definitely outsource the editing first. The rest I have outsourced clips for channels, so clip finding for other channels. before, but yeah, it's in my plan to find more clip finders and kind of script writers and perhaps even managers in the future.
Yeah, that's a smart play for you, especially as you're wanting to scale more channels. And since you've like already kind of scaled and you've made like quite a lot of money with shorts so far, what's one mistake you made after already making decent money that you think is worth kind of letting other people know about, maybe teach people from your mistake?
I would say the number one has to be consistency. Especially last year around winter time, I was so inconsistent. Although I was making like 500 or $1,000 a day, I was still super inconsistent. You have to aim for that one short a day. That's like the bare minimum. There's no excuses not to post one short a day, basically.
Why was you so inconsistent though? Like, what was the reason behind it?
So one has to be laziness. Looking back, I definitely could have just pushed through. But yeah, it was school time, winter, you know. You just want to be kind of cozy in your house. You don't really want to work. Also, I didn't have that many things outsourced, so I didn't have that push of editors wanting more clips, of providing for other employees. I was just alone at that time specifically, and the excuses just were so easy for me to make.
Would you say there was an element of complacency as well?
What does that mean?
So like you was quite like satisfied with the results and didn't really feel an urge to push for more?
Yeah, that could be an aspect as well. You kind of feel safe, but obviously with this business model especially, it's so shaky. You can't really predict that the next month will be the same. You need to keep posting. It's not a consistent business model to kind of stay lazy in.
It's definitely not one for the lazies. Although you can outsource a lot of your work, it's definitely still something that you want to be consistent on, because when you stop posting, bro, momentum just goes. You know, you'd be lucky to uphold it, and then it's essentially like all that effort to get the algorithmic push just essentially goes 100%. To waste once you get lazy. You know, so it's very good to upkeep that. It's kind of what YouTube want out of you as well, quite clearly. And another thing is, what's the biggest mistake that you see creators make when they try to scale?
What do you mean by scale? Like more videos a day or more channels?
Yeah, so like scaling vertically and horizontally. So vertically could be, you know, more upload volume on their current channel and just, you know, scaling as much as they possibly can, hiring more team members, scaling horizontally across more channels, for example. What do you think is like one of the biggest mistakes that people do when they start getting into that process?
Yeah, so for upping upload volume, I would say if you aren't getting consistently good views on the videos before, you definitely shouldn't. If you know also you can up the volume each day and be consistent with it, that's when you can scale. More channels wise, like I mentioned before, just if the channel isn't outsourced fully or like let's say 70% at least, then I think you should also avoid that, and your number one priority should be outsourcing.
Very nice. And if you was to go back to when you first started, what piece of advice would you give yourself with shorts?
So number one that comes into mind, join Earnit Media as soon as you can.
Let's go.
But just think longer, in longer terms. Don't think about, if one video flopped. Think in months or even years. If like I started looking at the bigger picture like 2 years ago, I'm sure I would be making like 100K a month by now.
Interesting. And you mentioned Earnit there. How's your experience been inside of Earnit since joining?
Such a good community. All of the people there are, I think almost all of them, there are some younger than me, but most of the guys are more successful and older than me, wiser than me. So there's just so much to learn, and it really motivates you and pushes you. That sense of community and other guys you can ask questions at any time of day. It's super good. The channel review calls also have been very beneficial for me. Everything.
I appreciate that a lot, brother. I appreciate you being part of the community as well. Again, for anyone who wants to join, top link in the description. Otto, bro, we'll wrap it up. Where can people find you?
Mainly I'm on X at Auto Profit. That's really the only thing I have for a personal brand right now.
Give him a follow on there. Follow the guy. He might start sharing some good value. We'll see. We'll see what he wants to do.
Appreciate it.
But again, appreciate you coming on, man. Right, we'll see you later, guys.